Welcome back. The 2018-2019 season of the Asean Basketball League is all set to tip off Friday in China. The season opener will feature the expansion team, the Wolf Warriors, against the 2016-2017 champions Hong Kong Eastern basketball team. Alab Pilipinas is also set to begin its quest to become the league's first back-to-back champions. And joining us in the studio is the COO of the ABL, Jericho Ilagan. Jericho, nice to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
Jericho, how excited are you for this new season of the ABL?
This would be our biggest season yet.
Biggest?
Biggest.
I mean, why do you say biggest?
We have 10 teams. Each team now plays 26 games compared to the previous 20 regular season games. So overall, we actually have almost twice the number we've had in the previous years. This would be our biggest TV coverage yet, with 12 countries covering the ABL live for each and every game. So,
as COO, how happy are you with the pattern of growth, the level of growth year on year that the ABL is seeing?
I'm very ecstatic with our growth that we've been able to sustain over the past 4 years. We actually have a map and plan where we'll have 16 teams in less than 5 years, hopefully.
16 teams?
16 teams.
And the ABL started with how many teams?
6.
6. So from 6 to 16. Is that for you undeniable proof that the ABL is on the right track? That the ABL is doing all the right things to attract all these new team owners?
I would say that we've done a very good job in the modest sense of it, because we've allowed other people, even nations wherein basketball is not their primary sport, to actually love the sport, develop the sport, and now we're just growing all over Asia. We have plans to still add more teams, but we also want to ensure that the teams we add gives more value to the teams that we have now, as well as to the league.
Sports often is about experiences. Like, let's say the NBA, they're big on fan experience, on the live experience. For someone, let's say, who's curious about watching the ABL live, regardless of country, whether it's in the Philippines or in the other host countries, what makes the ABL fan or live experience different?
You'd get to see players who you wouldn't have imagined playing basketball. My best example is Wong Wei Long of Singapore. Now he's playing for Indonesia because his mom is Indonesian. You have a Brandon Jawato who played for the University of Hawaii with Christian Stanhardinger, for example, and now he plays for Indonesia as well. You get to see multicultural players playing for countries, and you get to see the best basketball from each country. We're Filipinos, you know, we always think that the Philippines is the best basketball nation across Southeast Asia. When you watch an ABL game, then now you think, wait, is the Philippines still the best basketball country in Southeast Asia? And, you know, and East Asia? When you consider the players like Lee Kee of Hong Kong Eastern, who, you know, without the ABL, you wouldn't really know about these players. Chichai Ananti from the Mono Vampire Basketball Club. And now other players are, you know, carving up their own names. That's the experience that we want to extend to the fans.
It's interesting that the ABL model, as you mentioned, if you're a basketball fan or Pinoy basketball fan, it's educating.
Right.
You know, it's great exposure to. Honestly, it's not really regional. You can say it's a global. It's like a global game.
I agree. This year we actually have increased the number of our imports to 3. But
how come?
We wanted the competition level to be at a higher stage, with, you know, 2 world imports before and 2 heritage players. Now we said let's do away with the heritage players. Let's loosen up our local eligibility rules, and let's increase the number of world imports. Now we get to see high-level competition each and every game. Much better than the previous years.
Of course, our audience, they're primarily concerned about Alab Pilipinas, and then so Coach Jim Elapag is there, consultant Danny Siegel is there. They've got, I would imagine, the biggest import
in PJ
Ramos. So, what about Alab Pilipinas and its place in the ABL universe for this season?
I think anytime you put a Jimmy Elapag on a team, that's a recipe for success. With his leadership and his winning tradition, you always would expect Alab to be in contention for the title. It wouldn't be easy though, with other teams bulking up their own rosters. But the PJ Ramos and the Ronaldo Balkman combination is something I'm really interested in.
And I'm sure Pinoy fans or basketball fans in the region are also interested. And that's what I want to ask. Alam ko na yung mga Pinoy who are in Singapore, in Hong Kong, they can't wait to see Alab.
Correct.
But what about the fans from other countries? How do they respond to a team like Alab Pilipinas?
I would say that in my travels over the past 4 years, I've seen... I was in Jakarta for the Asian Games. Most of my Indonesian friends ask me, hey, when's the Alab game in Indonesia? Because we want to watch. Then you get to see non-Filipinos who are now fans of Alab Pilipinas. And that's the growth that we'd want to achieve in the ABL.
Okay, let's get back to growth. In particular, for the season, what are the growth areas? What growth areas are you going to focus on? The league is going to focus on.
We'd want to see more in-game entertainment. We don't want fans to come to the games just to watch a basketball game, but for it to be a total fan experience. And you'd see that in the games this season. I don't want to, preempt what will happen, but, expect a better, fan experience in the ABL this season.
Eventually, do you envision the ABL fan to be not just a fan that's based in a country, but actually a fan who's so in love with the league that he is going to follow teams wherever they go?
That's always the direction that we want to be in. And I would say we have a couple now of fans who travel.
There are like ABL super fans now.
Right.
What do they do? Why are they super fans?
Malaysia fans, for example, travel to Singapore to watch a Malaysia game. They travel to Bangkok. They travel to Vietnam. Now we're slowly becoming a part of the tourism of each country. So if, say, I'm Vietnamese and if Saigon Heat is playing in the Philippines and I'm in Manila, that would be part of my itinerary now. More so, there are Filipinos who follow other teams in other countries. I would say that there was a couple I was reading on this Facebook group that they looked at the schedules of the Saigon Heat more than Alab Pilipinas because they want to follow the Saigon Heat where the Saigon Heat is playing.
Yeah, because travel is getting easier and easier, especially in the region, and it's not far-fetched to have super fans hopping from one to the other country to the next. Well, Jericho, always great to chat with you, and
thanks,
all the best for the new season of the ABL.
Thank you so much.